Why do we try fitness fads? There's so much stuff out there that either doesn't work or is just completely unnecessary. You have your big gyms, your fat loss tea, tons of supplements you don't really need. In my opinion, there are two reasons why someone joins up with a fad. Either you don't want to put in the work, or you just plain don't know what you're doing. And that's why big gyms do so well. That's why dieting companies do so well. That's why diet pill companies do so well. Because people don't either don't know what they're doing, they don't want to do the research, they don't want to put in the work themselves. Losing weight and staying in shape isn't something you do for a couple of months. It's a lifelong journey for everyone, and people really need to realize this, that if you don't put in the work, no matter how much money you spend on it, you're not gonna do well in what you're trying to do. So in the spirit of talking about fads, I'd like to talk about 3 fad diets today that may be worse for your health than eating a regular balanced diet, or that are just completely unnecessary because balanced diet beats any fad diet, just letting you know early on. The 3 diets I want to talk about are paleo, keto, and vegan, in no particular order. Let's get going. Okay, so let's start with something simple. Let's talk about the vegan diet first. This one's pretty easy to explain. Basically, you don't really eat anything from an animal, you don't eat processed sugars, and for moral reasons, I understand why people would do this, but as far as health is concerned, if you're trying to lose a ton of weight, I would not go with the vegan diet, just because it's really hard to sustain long term. Because our bodies are naturally incompatible with it, because they were designed to eat animal products. Our bodies were designed to be omnivores. We eat fruits, vegetables, and yeah, we kill things and eat it too. And our bodies were designed to do that. And with the vegan diet, it's very hard to get a lot of protein without getting the fattiness that you wouldn't get from lean animal products. So it's very hard to eat vegan and get a good amount of protein as well. You might have to take extra supplements with it. So a couple more things to point out about the vegan diet is that it doesn't necessarily mean you're eating healthy foods. Again, you just need to not eat processed sugar and not eat animal products. If you're not doing that, then you're in the clear for the vegan diet. So obviously there's a lot of things out there that might not be healthy for you, but are good with the vegan diet. Exhibit A. And one more thing is that just for health reasons, if you're doing this long term, you might run into like some migraines, you might be at a high risk for bone fractures, and you might not be getting enough protein with this diet. Again, you may have to take extra supplements, which is why it can't beat a balanced diet, just for health reasons. For moral reasons, I understand. Okay, let's talk paleo. So paleo is short for Paleolithic. It was a period that ended about 12,000 years ago, scientists think. And for the most part, it's a really good diet, seems like. It's got fruits, vegetables, lean meats, fish, which is weird because I always considered fish a meat, but no one else does. But yeah, for the most part, it seems like a pretty good diet, but it does cut out a few things that I think should be in every balanced diet. So typically, paleo people don't eat green beans, dairy products, wheat, highly processed foods, salt, potatoes, processed sugar. And for the most part, it seems like a pretty good diet. You got your fruits, vegetables, you got your lean protein, so it's not very fatty, right where you want it to be. But you're going to have a lack of energy because of your low carbs. They don't really eat that many carbs. And having a low carb diet where you don't have a ton of energy tends to kill a lot of diet plans because people think, I can't do this long term. I have no energy. I'm not going to be able to keep this up. And they stop forever. They go back to eating the crap foods they were eating before. And basically they give up, which is really sad. But that's what happens on a lot of these fad diets. Because a lot of them cut out a giant major food group that you need. And then you just can't keep it up because you need that food group. So that's why paleo can't beat a well-balanced diet. let's go on to the last one. Okay, so the last one we're going to talk about today is keto. And keto is short for ketogenic, which is a long word, which means that your body starts metabolizing fats instead of carbs. Now, to someone new to fitness, this must seem really cool because they're thinking, ooh, I can do this keto diet, and then instead of metabolizing carbs, I can cut out the carbs and replace them with fat, and my body will just burn all the fat off because it wants to metabolize fat instead of carbs. But really what you're doing is really trading one energy source for another. And fat doesn't give you the same energy that carbs does. So again, you're going to be really low energy with this diet. And in the long run, it's just not going to work for you. Also, with a keto diet, if you're eating a high amount of the bad types of fats, you're going to be at a high risk for heart disease. So all the way around, to me, this diet doesn't sound like a good idea. And a well-balanced diet would beat it in a heartbeat. But there's one more thing about all these diets that I haven't told you yet, is that it's not necessary to do these at all. So eating a nutritious diet versus a fat loss diet, they go hand in hand, but they're not exactly the same thing. If you're eating a nutritious, balanced diet with you're getting all the nutrients you need to get, it doesn't mean you're going to lose weight. And if you're losing weight, it doesn't mean you're getting all the nutrients you need. So they go hand in hand, but they're not the same thing at all. The most important thing in weight loss is being in a calorie deficit consistently, day in, day out. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose any weight. So really what a calorie deficit is, it's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll explain it. You need to be putting in less calories than you're taking out. Now, if you're putting in more calories than you're taking out, you're going to gain weight. If you're putting in the same amount of calories as you're taking out, you're going to stay the same. And if you're putting in less calories than you're taking out, then you're going to lose weight. There you go. So weight loss really, it's not easy, but it can be that simple. Basically, there's tons of different things that can work out there for someone, and I'm not saying any of these diets wouldn't work for you, but why do one of these fad diets when you can just put in the time, put in the work, put in the effort, and be in a consistent calorie deficit day in, day out? It's much simpler, it's much cheaper than trying all these fads, and you're going to be proud of yourself for it because you put in the work, you put in the effort, you did this yourself, and no one can take it away from you. And that's an amazing thing. It really is. But one more thing I want to leave you with is I want you to be able to figure out how many calories you need to be taking out to hit your mark and make sure you're in a calorie deficit day in and day out. So step one to figuring out how to lose weight would be to find your favorite fitness app. For me, I really like MyFitnessPal, but it really doesn't matter to me which one you use. Whichever one you like, I would try a few out if that's really important to you, and then just see which one you like the best. Now, after you pick one you like, for just 1 week, okay, 1 week, I want you to track every single thing you eat. That includes exact ounces. That includes exact ingredients. If you have a salad but you dunk a lot of dressing on it, you better put that dressing in there too. If you buy a sandwich at Subway, make sure you put sandwich at Subway and the type of sandwich you buy. That's very, very important, because what it does is it's going to break down all the little micro and macronutrients in what you eat, and then tell you exactly how much of each thing you're eating. But most importantly is the calories. So for a week, I want you to track every single thing you eat, every little thing you eat. If you eat a grape, you put it in there, okay? If you have a glass of orange juice, you put it in there. And then you figure out how many calories you're eating a day. And after you figure out how many calories you're eating a day, you don't want to do anything super crazy. And I'll say it again, you're not going to lose a ton of weight in a month. You're just not going to. And if you do, it's very unhealthy. So weight loss is a lifelong thing. Um, and you want to start slowly, because if you do go at it too aggressively at first, you're either going to start losing muscle along with fat, or it's not going to be sustainable long term. And really, what you want to do is have something that's sustainable long term. Um, so, what I want you to do is, for like every day, I want you to be in a 200 to 300 calorie deficit. And that's not super hard. It's something you can take easily. Um, and really, if you want to do some cardio and like just lift weights or do something like that, that'll help with your calorie deficit. So you won't have to try to eat so much less each time. Um, but like I said, just take that first step. Track your calories for a whole week. See how many calories a day you're eating. And then the week after that, you want to be in a 200 to 300 calorie deficit every single day. And then I would get like a light jog in there. When I say light jog, any pace you want, just not a walk. And then I want it to be like a quarter of a mile to a half a mile. I think that'll be everyone will be able to do that, unless you're really down the line where you can't do that. Then I just want you to start with a walk. Okay, if something is like too hard, just start with what you can do. And there, there's always a place to start, and you're gonna get better from there. So never feel bad about where you're starting. Feel great about where you're gonna be a year from now. All right, so that was it for today. We'll hopefully have another one of these out there shortly. And I want to help everyone out there who sees these to lose weight. And I think it's great if you see this and it motivates you a little bit. I'm gonna go though. So have a good day.